Okay, next up. Vikings-Lions, speaking of them. Vikings by 6 at Detroit, over under 42.5. The Vikings, haven't been good on the road, 2-4-1. Like I said, if they win out in those 2 games, which is, again, at Detroit and home for the Bears, they're in the playoffs. So last week, they came out after they fired their offense coordinator, and they ran and ran and ran, which is what Zimmer wanted to do, and they crushed the Dolphins at home. I don't trust these guys one bit. Early in the year, I was a big fan, and I kept thinking, oh, they're going to be an elite team with this and that. I know they played well last week. I don't trust them.
Well, I trust them against the Lions.
Okay.
The Lions have been – you keep wanting to think the Lions are going to win these games they should be winning, and then they come out and they lose. And you're like, what happened? Like, this is a team that should be okay. But then they come out and, they lose to the Bills, or I don't know. Actually, they have a bunch of pretty good – I mean, they have, everybody they've lost who's actually pretty good, except for maybe the 49ers and the Jets.
Right. That's the thing. Their schedule's been tough. They had a string of losses that were all the tough teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I don't trust them at all. I think it's we've seen it a couple of times this year when a new offensive coordinator comes in, or really when a new offensive coordinator is elevated to replace their fired offensive coordinator, that this team has had some success. We saw that early, when the Cardinals a little bit with Byron Leftwich when he came in, and we've seen it a few other times. So, losing to Filippo, I think, and Zimmer having the ability to kind of put in a guy who's going to do what he wants, maybe a good thing. I think Mike Zimmer's a really good coach. I think Mike Zimmer knows what he's talking about. I think if Mike Zimmer says to do something, you kind of do it because he knows what he's talking about. So, from that perspective, from this kind of run first mentality, especially when you have like Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray, I think you go with that way. And I don't know. Like I said, if this was next, week 17 they got the Bears, so that's a different story. Whether or not you trust them against the Bears, I do trust them against the Lions. I don't think they're going to have an issue, even at -6. You have Detroit, right?
I have Detroit. Yeah, I don't trust the Vikings on the road.
You trust the Vikings to lose by less than a touchdown, I guess?
I think they're gonna. I think the line. I like the Lions to cover. I don't know how much I like them to win. I think it's a tough game. So 6 is a little much for me with the Vikings. So we've got on NFLPickWatch.com, 71% of the experts like the Vikings given the points. 64% of the fans like the Vikings given the points. So they're with you. Okay.
It's one of the first times they've been with me all day.
Folks, we are at about 42 minutes and we have 7 games left, so we're going to pick up the pace a little bit on the game. I love talking to Josh, but we don't want you to watch for an hour and 15 minutes.